During a normal sinus rhythm, electrical impulses are initiated by the SA node. These impulses move through the atria, pause at the AV node, and continue through to the ventricles. This causes a P wave before the QRS complex with a PR interval between 0.12 and 0.20. With a junctional rhythm, the SA node has failed, causing the AV node, the backup pacemaker of the heart, to take over. While the SA node has an inherent rate of 60 to 100, the AV node has an inherent rate of 40 to 60. Since the electrical impulse is beginning at the AV node, it travels up to the atria and down toward the ventricles at the same time. Depending on where in the junction it actually originates, the P wave can have one of three strange changes. First of all, it could be before the QRS, however, it's likely inverted and will have a PR interval of less than 0.12. It could be missing. Well, it's not really missing. It's actually hidden inside the QRS complex. It could be after the QRS. If you see any of these three situations, you're probably looking at a junctional rhythm, and which one you see just depends on where in the AV node, where in the junction, the electrical impulse actually initiated. Inverted P waves are a sign that you might have a junctional rhythm, but they're just a clue. Check your PR interval. A normal PR interval is sinus, even if it's inverted. Let's look toward interpretation. The first thing we always do when looking at a rhythm is determine its regularity. A junctional rhythm will be regular. Next, let's look to our atrial beats. Let's look to our P waves. If our P waves are missing, have a short PR interval, or are after the QRS complex, we're probably looking junctional. Finally, let's look to our QRS complexes. If they look narrow, indicating everything's fine in the ventricle, we have a junctional rhythm. Once we've determined we have a junctional rhythm, let's figure out which one. And to do that, we're going to eat at the Junctional Cafe, EAT. There are three types of junctional rhythms, and which one it is dependent on the rate. First, there's junctional escape. The rate is 40 to 60. This is what happens when the AV node is not being told by the SA node what to do. It just does whatever it wants. There's accelerated junctional with a rate of 60 to 100. Even though this is a quote-unquote normal rate, it is accelerated because it's more than the AV node wants to do. Finally, there's junctional tachycardia with a rate greater than 100. To review, with junctional we have a regular rhythm. The P waves are either missing, have a short PR interval, or after the QRS complexes. Our QRS complexes look narrow, giving us a junctional rhythm. Once we've determined that, we're going to go eat at the Junctional Cafe. Figure out which junctional rhythm it is. Is it junctional escape, 40 to 60, accelerated junctional, 60 to 100, or junctional tachycardia with a rate of greater than 100?